Hello, everyone. Today is the day. Today, we want to invite you to an interesting journey. The digital world made a massive shift with the AI technology's appearance. But before we're going to start, I want to make a short introduction of people who are going to guide you today in this journey. I'll be your host today, and I'm not the Ricky Gervais, obviously, to make a show out of it. But I'll do my best to keep us on track in this journey. But first, I would like to introduce you amazing Gita, CEO at MaxWeb.
Hi guys, I am so excited to be here, Alex. It's such an honor. I am pumped and ready to go. I created MaxWeb because I wanted to share great offers and great content with the affiliates all over the world. So doing stuff like this, it brings such a joy. So I'm excited. I'm here. I have some great slides for you guys. And I really, really appreciate the invite.
Anna, it's a greatest pleasure to have you here. And Andrey Kravchenko, co-founder of Xevio and Native Hub.
Hello, everyone. Alex, Anna, good to see you. Thanks very much for a quick introduction. Super excited to be here to share all the insights that we and our team have gathered over the years of working in Native. I myself have been in Native for over 6 years. Used to work for Taboola, so for me it's quite an exciting opportunity to collaborate with MGID and MaxWeb over something that's outside my past life, outside my past responsibilities, but rather working with global partners and not focusing just on one. So very cool opportunity and excited to start.
Thank you so much for being here with us. And myself, I'm Alex. I'm head of sales at MGID. And today I want to share you my latest experience of creative AI usage. So let's start.
Establishing take lots of notes.
Yeah. Established in 2007, MGID is one of the pioneers of the native format. Since then, we have expanded our portfolio into display and video. Today, we are a global media platform with over 700 employees and 13 offices, serving over 800 billion impressions monthly. But the most important thing that you can see on the slide, and I like it more than ever, is performance-driven. This actually matters to our affiliate clients the most. And that is something that we've developed through the years of experience. We definitely know what support you need when you start your campaign. We definitely know the importance of the ROI and how to help you reach it. That is one of our biggest competitive advantages that I would say. But today we're going to talk about way new solutions. There is a tremendous apprehension about the potential of generative AI technologies that can create new content such as text, images, and video. But one of the biggest opportunities generative AI offers is to augment human creativity and overcome the challenges of equalized innovations. In the past 2 decades, companies have used crowdsourcing and idea competitions to involve outsiders in the innovative process. But many businesses have struggled to capitalize on these contributions. They have lacked the efficient way to evaluate the ideas or to synthesize different ideas. Generative AI can help overcome those challenges. It can supplement the creativity of employees and customers and help them produce and identify novel ideas and improve the quality of raw ideas. Specifically, companies can use generative AI to promote divergent thinking, challenge expertise bias, assist in idea evaluation, support idea refinement, and facilitate collaboration among users. This is good. Over 15 billion images have been created using text to image since 2022. It took 150 years all photographers to reach this mark from the first time in 1826 first photograph had been taken. Or, for instance, if someone did nothing but read 24 hours a day of their entire life, they'd consume 8 billion words. That's a lot of words. But today, the most advanced AIs consume more than 8 trillion words in a single month of training. And all of this is set to continue. If we'll talk about creativity tendencies, we'll see that close to 50% of the users can recognize AI generative art. But what's going to happen in the future with all the learning abilities of the AI? I'm pretty sure that in the near future, AI generated art will be unrecognizable from human creativity. Let's have a look on the AI evolution. First versions of AI were creating pictures like one was photoshopped out of 10 other by pieces. Those creators couldn't be used anywhere, or it would take a lot of time of human involvement to adjust it to the certain purposes. One of the biggest challenges for the first versions of the generative AI were actually humans, especially their limbs. Another challenge is that in the first version of the AIs, we're taking prompts super literally. You can see it on the pictures. When it comes to the symmetrical, it is literally symmetrical, which is not the way we are thinking about it. So what's the problem? We spoke different languages. Both us and AI were learning. Next big challenge was long, detailed prompts. AI can read your mind as of now. That's why to get the actual picture that you've imagined, you should write a very, very, very detailed prompt. But as we said, AI is learning and learning really fast. You ready to see the results that we are having right away? Sorry. This is what we have right now. Newest versions of the AI not only create the picture from the exact text, but also predict additional parameters of this picture. This images, this creative is much, much closer to what we or average person would think about and how he or she imagine the actual picture. And this is all about learning. But next question, how, where, and who can use it? This is the ads creation form for each and every campaign that you're going to launch with MGID. Here you see that you can create both headlines and images with built-in generative AI in MGID's dashboard. This is the headlines and description generation. Two ways to do that. First, URL-based. Very simple. Paste your URL, click Analyze. Receive the target audience's analysis. Pick the one you are into and select the headline language. What happens next? You just need to choose one of the AI-generated headlines options. Next possibility, it's prompt-based. Create the headline by prompt, and here you can use our recommended prompts as well as write your own one. Click Analyze, pick the target audience, and here you go. Choose one of the AI-generated headlines. Now, which is, I would say, much more desired ones is the image generation. And here we go. This is also very easy. Prompt-based. You can write your own prompts and create any image that you would consider the best one for you. At the same time, we want to help you. So you can use prompt samples that are easy to adjust to your needs. Additionally to that, AI built that way that it's not a substitution. That's something that I want to make in a conclusion in the end. But AI, it's not the substitution of the human being. You still need to guide it, and you still need to give him the right direction where to go. That's why you need to add emotions, angles, lighting, styles. All of this will enhance your creative. By that said, in the dashboard, you have drop-down selection, very easy to do and very easy to pick the right ones. Next one is possibility to do image-to-image AI generation. What does it mean? You can easily drag and drop any image that you want to use and adjust it the way you think it will perform better. Here as well, you can find a magic stick that will help you with the prompts adjustment examples. These are great examples. By using that, you can change race, style, gender, age, and so on. It's giving you so many possibilities to diverse your approaches. Let's talk about the advantages. The advantages is really clear. So images you create are unique. This is something that I like the most. Except of except of the first issue it's solving, which is laying on the surface, there is no copyright anymore. So you can use it easily. The uniqueness is very important thing. Second thing is the legal safety. So using that or those persons on your creatives, it's now open. It's now no legal use can happen to you about that, and all the moderation will be happening easily. And obviously a high quality. It's way different from the stock images. It's way different from the images that you can find anywhere else. Even the biggest brands like Nestle are already using creative AI approach with us. So this is the real campaign that Nestle come to us and ask us to help them with. And we use the AI creative approach, which was fabulous. And I will be completely honest with you, their results for these campaigns were also very, very good. We will be talking about reasons. And you remember I've said about the uniqueness, I've said about how it works, why, and so on. For the last 7 to 8 years, the typical affiliate approach is to use BI tools, find the highest spend end, and use it. And what happened out of it? Same or very familiar ad creatives everywhere around the open web. You may receive a decent amount of clicks with that approach, but is this the final goal? This is the final goal to find the, to receive the clicks? I'm sure not. All we care is the CR. That is what matters. And by that said, we should take into account very important thing that for the last 2 to 3 years, user behavior, user content consumption changed drastically. And we need to work with the users using completely new approaches. Here are some examples, and this is very good ones, because this actually shows how it may work, how it will help you, and what is the exact difference between before and after. So this one is the, this is the health-related product. Instead of, and you see higher CTR, higher CR, very, very, very good image to the user experience. Here, health-related product, instead of misleading communication, very transparent approach, higher CTR, higher CR. Retirement plan. I mean, maybe the couple on the left is happy, looks like, but the couple on the right is much happier for sure. So higher CTR, higher CR, that's what we acknowledged. CBD gummies, instead of misleading communication, very transparent approach, higher CTR, higher CR. Next one, direct call to action with the right expectations, higher CTR, higher CR. That's what we are looking for. And here, this is, the thing that's, instead of frustrating your users or your clients, you're building a trust with them on what you're gonna actually promote for them and show them. I'm sorry.
You keep building up the suspense. I like it.
So what's next? This is something that we were like keeping a joker in our pocket. So performance prediction with a new partner, Memorable AI. We gonna predict. We want to step much further. We're going to predict the performance. Isn't it? Everybody wants to. Everyone wants to know: is this ad gonna perform or not? So we want to fulfill this niche. So right after ad creation, we will give you a hint of how your ad going to perform. It's gonna be poor, medium, good, or excellent. That's gonna get an immediate prediction about your ad performance, obviously within our platform. From all the advantages of usage of this specific feature, I would outline that you don't need to do any more A/B testing. You just can predict it by yourself. We will predict it for you. This or this one. That's it. Here is the answer. About the QA, I forgot to tell it in the beginning. So guys, first of all, there is on the right bottom of your screen, you see the questions in chat, and we would like to ask you to leave all your questions in the question zone. That's first thing. Second thing, to guide you through this journey properly, we would like to ask you to have a Q&A session in the end of all our 3 performances. So we will definitely try to answer all of your questions. By finalizing my part, I would say that AI will, as of now, not substitute human imagination. It won't happen, and even in the near future. But AI is your new and best partner in crime. And by using MGID, you will build these relationships very smoothly. Thank you so much. And after my part, I would like to ask Anna Gita, our amazing Anna, to tell you more about her part. Thank you.
That was wonderful, Alex. I love it. And if you guys, I bet a few of you have heard some of my speeches before, and I do focus on native ads a lot, especially with AI. There are so many beautiful ways that, we can have a different presentation and just focus on the AI tools, because I love to hear that you guys are already, working on the predictive modeling because it's vital and so important. So before we get into all those details, I wanted to focus a bit on this side of offers and VSLs, right? Because we have wonderful companies like MGID who give us the traffic solution, right? We have partners like Andrey that can show you how to create the right ads, but you're going to need good offers. So that's where we come in. That's my mission, to make sure you guys have beautiful offers that actually convert and that are actually good on native, because that's a huge, huge difference from a good offer that converts on email. And you will find that in our industry, a lot of product owners first test on email, they'll have a conversion rate of 3%. And we know with native, that's, very different on cold or warm traffic. So I want to talk to you guys a bit about VSLs and how we can put conversions with video sales letters. We'll tell you a bit about, what VSLs are and how to get those good pre-sales that are going to work beautifully for you long term. And you probably heard of VSLs before. It's the video sales letters, right? They emerge as honestly one of the most effective tools in affiliate marketing the last few years. I have a business background, not a marketing one. So it was a no-brainer for us to focus on VSLs because they are so productive and so effective when it comes to bringing those sales and conversions in, right? So these videos, they really combine persuasive storytelling with very compelling visuals. So this way they can engage and convert your audience to click and to buy, right? So, they're usually like a medium format videos. They cover a specific topic, let's say back pain. And during that video, the product that can help with your back pain, right, is going to be advertised and make it easier for the user to really go to the next step. As I said, VSLs are just video sales letter. What's very important for you to note, if you're new to our specific industry with affiliate marketing, you might see a VSL, how it happened to me, and be like, you know what? I don't see how someone would watch 40 minutes of this offer and purchase. That's a very silly approach. Please believe me, I'm here to tell you VSLs work. Just remember they have a specific target audience in mind. So if you are not in that group, you might not find it appealing to click and watch, but that's our job to test. And believe me, VSLs convert beautifully. You'll have to trust us because, it's in our interest to give you offers that work well. I could have added numerous examples here. We like to keep webinars and, podcasts like this short and sweet to give you like the important information that you need. So naturally, I picked 3 good offers, nerve, blood sugar, and skin. As Alex was going through his slides earlier, I've noticed one of the dental offers that we created. So I was very happy. We did not, discuss what offers we're going to pick, but usually MaxWeb is behind the very, very good VSLs in the space. It depends on what your preferred niche is. Some of our affiliates do best on native with male weight loss, hearing, not just the blood sugar or skin or nerve, even vision does beautifully. And the fungus offers, those are always like a evergreen in our space. Pre-sales, and I'm going to go in a minute on pre-sales and tell you specifically what type of pre-sales work well and what are the elements you should add to your pre-sales so they convert beautifully, right? You'll see here, I added some examples that we actually use. You see how we have a video, a headline, which is usually a small description of what we're trying to sell, and a strong call to action. I cannot overly emphasize how many times in a pre-sale we forget the very clear call to action because we know the product, we've seen the video so many times, it's a no-brainer, but you actually have to tell the customer, watch now, click here, press right here. The call to action is paramount. So you saw the great examples. They always have the headline, the video, the call to action. And what's beautiful, you'll see how when you click, when you're at that pre-sale, and you click that watch now, click now button or CTA, is going to take you straight to the VSL where, we've spent lots of years. We have brilliant copywriters whose job is to really hook the customer once they get to the VSL. But to really leverage the power of the beautiful video sales letters in the space, we really need great pre-sales and the other way around. I'm always asked, well, can we direct link to an offer? Of course you can. We can do anything, right? Sometimes it might even work. But the affiliates that make 50K a day or more in profits, they usually use a pre-sale because it really ties in everything beautifully and easily. You have the call to action, you grasp their attention and really hook them in. You've probably noticed I don't always read from the slides. I promise you the same information here. If you need the slides, I can just message me and we'll get that to you. I'm basically, just transparently tell you what it works, because when I got started, I remember I just wanted the direct information on what we should do or use. And all the speakers were so charismatic and so nice, but no one really actually told you what works, what's going on. So I promised myself when my time comes, I will try to be as direct and specific as possible. Beautiful. So in native ads, we always talk about audiences. And just as we could have a separate conversation about AI, a whole presentation just about AI, we certainly could do a 1 hour just on audience and how to hook them. So while native advertising is so powerful for engaging your target audience, it's not enough to just plop that ad in front of them, right? So to really engage them with your ads, you need to create content that resonates. I know it sounds very cheesy, but it needs to resonate with them. It needs to speak directly to their interests, to their needs and wants. And I'm going to go through some tips on how we do it to really make sure we hook the customers as much as possible. High quality content. I know it sounds like a given, but you'd be surprised how many brilliant affiliates forget how vital it is to have things that look beautiful, crisp, and clean. So while native ads are blending with the surrounding content, it's very important for your pre-sale to really, really be valuable, relevant, and have the same crisp, clear look as the rest of the page, right? So you want to use, as I showed you the examples before, you want to have the very clear attention-grabbing headline, paramount, engaging visuals. Alex had some beautiful example of how much it impacted the conversion rate just by swapping the image and making it clear to what we're selling, right? Again, the clear call to action, so important because that's really going to engage the audience with your content. Making it personal. This is key because you want to engage someone with the product. You want them to feel seen, you want them to feel understood, right? So when you use data and analytics to create personalized ads, that really is tailored to the interest, the behavior of your target audience, they're going to feel like, okay, you're really understanding this. And what I mean, I'm just going to spend 1 minute to really further explain what I mean by personalized. Sometimes, back in the day, we used to target, women and men, age groups above 35 or above 50, educated or uneducated. Well, we need to be way more personal than that. Is this a woman that's a single mom? Is this a woman who, is taking her car or the metro to work? Is she the type of person who is going to treat herself to a latte? Or is this the type of person who is going to enjoy walks in the park or a skyscraper in Dubai? So really personalizing that ad to the interest and the likes of the consumer is more paramount now, than ever. And I really encourage you to use AI for stuff like that, because it's really easy to get visuals that, how Alex has said, and I was nodding, not just they don't just look great, they're unique. So imagine your ad and your conversion rate is automatically going to have such a great plus because you're using something unique to you and your ads. So if you think going to spy tools and just checking what's best and copying that is going to get you more sales, I'm here to tell you it really doesn't work like that. And the extra work now by using AI is really, really not that much. All right, storytelling. Who doesn't love a good story? I'm a reader. As you can see, I have libraries like this all through my home. I love to read. I love a good story. And you can really, it's sad that, watching a good movie, hearing a good conversation, it's really easy to have empathy towards someone. So storytelling make empathy 10 times fold as profound as anything else. So when we use storytelling in a pre-sale, in a video, in an ad, we're really, really evoking an emotional response from the audience, and it's creating that bond that's going to make the audience come back for more. So storytelling is paramount. It doesn't have to be a weight loss like the example I pulled here for you guys. It really works for almost every niche if you focus on the storytelling part. All right, interactive elements, think quizzes, polls, and games. They're a great, beautiful way to engage with your audience with native ads. These elements really encourage your audience to interact with not just the ad, but what you're trying to sell. They're going to drive more conversions. I'm going to make a small parenthesis. We started with social media before we transitioned to native ads. And I think one of the best ads that we had, it was one of those quizzes on Facebook, and it said, what side of the bed do you sleep on? I don't know if you remember, we're huge nerds. We tried all the different approaches, but that quiz, people were so curious. What does that matter? What does that say about me? So that quiz got so many clicks, right? So we remembered that. And when we started working more with native ads, we incorporated quizzes like that. Then obviously for health, it works beautifully, like what type of foods do you eat? Do you know that your sleep pattern or position will impact what you do? So quizzes, polls, any type of games work very, very well. And interactive elements are fantastic. Unfortunately, we have to split this hour between my great, brilliant friends here. Otherwise, I would love to talk to you more about AI. But these are 5 ways that I wanted to underline that we are already using AI to boost our native ads with by using the predictive modeling. It has saved our team so much time and money, honestly. Automated bidding, same. Remember the good old days when we had to wake up during the night to do some of the bidding on the placements, right? That's gone. Personalization, I was just talking to you about personalization. You have great AI tools that will help you with this. Content creation, and not the most sexy topic, but fraud detection. We need to worry about payment processing, right? So for us to be able to give you wonderful offers, we want to make sure everything is crisp, clean, and clear. And fraud detection is a beautiful way that we've incorporated AI to help us track anything that's out of the ordinary. This way we have only, the clean sales, and then our affiliates can get the best CPAs possible. That was my side, guys. Don't forget to use the question area, and we will get to all your questions soon.
Anna, thank you so much. It was very interesting and so meaningful. I mean, yeah, that's a proper commentary that we're having in the chat, which is Anna is a legend. So that's the best way to finish this part. And now we're coming to our great friend, partner, Andrey, who will tell you a bit more from the psychology side and give you even more fundamental insights on his end. So Andrey, please.
Guys, I have to say that honestly, you've set the bar very, very high. So I'll do my best to, just to make sure that I'm on the same, or at least I'm very close to this bar that you guys have set. But I appreciate you having me here. I suppose when we started planning this webinar, the whole idea was to sort of provide a very clear guideline to all the affiliates and arbitrageurs and potentially brands would want to work with MGID and a MaxWeb. So give a clear call to action, how to work with a traffic source, which is typically a demand side, and how to work with a CPA network, which in this particular case represents a supply side. And we as Xevio, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, would represent someone in between. So step into the shoes of an affiliate or any media buyer, really, someone who would need to combine both sides to generate profit. Now, a little bit about ourselves. So I'm Andrey, as mentioned previously. I'm working with quite a few brilliant people. Some of them you can see on the picture here. These are my co-founders. As mentioned previously, I used to work for Taboola for many years, serving in the business development capacity for Central Eastern Europe and Israel, before joining forces with one of my friends and colleagues at Taboola, Mark, and one of the biggest spenders in the native space, Nadim, who's in the middle of the picture, to form Xevio, which is a native ads agency. Really is a full service agency, but we focus on a lot of things, predominantly native. This is something that we at least aspire to be very good at. And we've helped multiple brands and worked with multiple CPA networks in order to achieve success. Now, very briefly about it, and I'll spend more time about it in the end, in order to cater the interest for native, because there's so many people who are genuinely interested to adopt this traffic source for their funnels, for their marketing funnels, and to promote their brand successfully, and just to do affiliate marketing. A lot of them wanted to do it, but they really struggle because native is fundamentally different from social or search or even display, frankly. So we've created the education platform called Native Hub to cater this interest with lots of trainings and insights and reports. I'll talk about it in a second. But as promised, now I'm going to talk about psychology of sales and basically talk about the frameworks and the tactics that media buyers should adopt in order to succeed on native, because MGID Alex here delivered a fantastic presentation about the traffic source and basically the ways to automate your creative strategy, automate the process of generating creative angles. And Anna supplemented this with some information about the traffic offers and how to promote them on native, and also gave some great examples. And I particularly loved the example that you mentioned about auto bidding, how it used to be inexistent, right? How some of us, I didn't, I was selling a traffic source, I wasn't media buying, at least back then, but how a lot of us used to wake up in the middle of the night to check the campaigns, whilst now you don't really need to be a media buyer in the sense of someone who spends 24/7 sitting and adjusting the bids and doing the analysis. Now there are a lot of tools to automate this, starting from automizers with some AI power tools, and most importantly, you no longer need to possess some insane design skills to be able to produce and test the angles at scale. You have a lot of tools and instruments to automate this. So this is why partially when I'm doing my presentations, they're not really focused on very specific examples, but rather I'm giving broader information supplemented by some frameworks and techniques that you should employ in order to use this AI or maybe non-AI tools more effectively. So this presentation, I'm going to briefly touch on the research, how it's conducted, focusing on the initial, generic, and profound research. I'm going to talk about the funnel types for native. This is something that Anna's already started. So it would be quite arduous for me to fill in the shoes, but I'll do my best to at least offer some additional insight. And finally, I'm going to talk about the frameworks and suggestions. Now, very important when you guys are promoting on native is to keep in mind that spy tools is a great starting point, but it shouldn't be your final point. So whether you're using Perplexity, Anstrex, or other tools, these are great for getting the general idea about what to run on native. Now, it shouldn't be, the conclusive evidence of what should be run on native. Get some ideas, get inspired, move on to the second part, which I would say more generic research. because this presentation is mostly dedicated to direct-to-consumer e-commerce offers, typically in the health and supplement and beauty industry. But regardless of what you're running, make sure that you're researching not just the audience that is so relevant for native, and native tends to be on the sort of senior side of the audience, at least traditionally. Now, when it comes to choosing which country you're promoting, make sure that you're reading some news, you're researching what's happening, that you are studying the data to better understand your consumer, and most importantly, understand what are their pain points. I'll give you an example. So I'm based in Britain, right? And in Britain, for instance, typically the way they used to build houses in the 50s and 60s, and even before that, if we're talking about the Victorian buildings, they were built at scale, meaning very fast, but not necessarily, insulated properly. So they're very cold. My home in England is quite cold. So what do? You need to insulate it. So a lot of people employ professionals who would, come and insulate the houses to make them warmer so they contain heat. Now, the British government is supporting this and they're subsidizing it, hence the Great British Insulation Scheme. All these companies require leads. How do you know this if you're not studying what's happening in a country? Or the same goes with Germany, for instance. Like the reason that solar used to be so popular and still isn't so popular in Germany, or let's say in Spain, is because these countries are heavily subsidizing the solar industry in the country to ensure that they're not relying on the other energy sources. So they're relying on renewables more versus something that would be considered more traditional. So this is a great example. And the same goes, with health and supplements, for instance. So if you know that it's summer coming, everybody knows that health and supplements traditionally perform better, or at least scale better when it comes to Q1 and Q2, because summer is coming. Everybody wants to look great. Everybody wants to, show off to their friends that they have a fantastic fit body, or they're very young faces. So this is why it's a great time to pick up relevant offers and start promoting. But in order to know this, conduct research. Now, the particular aspect that I really wanted to focus on in this presentation is the fact that a lot of affiliates are just using spy tools or sharing some landing pages between each other, and it's totally fine. And by the way, with VSLs is even more prominent because you would have a video and just a bit of information before that, and then you would have a typical checkout page. Now, in some cases, specifically on native, you would have a pre-landing page before the VSL, which is not a very long one, but it tends to be, something from 300 to 500 words just to supplement the video. It doesn't necessarily have to be there, but, battle test different approaches to ensure which one works specifically for your audience and your traffic source. And what we found quite helpful is that you don't necessarily get inspired from the affiliate sources. Get inspired from the premium sources, hence the name of this presentation. Check out some large publishers with massive audiences, like hundreds and millions of pages monthly. Let's say if you're writing about health and supplements, let's say weight loss, go to Men's Health. Go to Cosmopolitan if you're writing for women. Go to, for Women's Health. Go to Forbes Health. And you'd be surprised how much free information you can find there. Make sure that if you're taking some inspiration from there, and you're not, let's say, being too inspired rather than you're, copy pasting, don't do this. I mean, there are lots of brilliant AI tools. I mean, I have Gemini open in front of me or ChatGPT. Rephrase and reference. It will give you a lot of head start. And another great website, which I found particularly helpful when it comes to working with health and supplements, it's called Snopes. So it's a website that focuses on fact-checking and basically dismantling rumors. And if you go there and let's say you type in some offers that you might be familiar with, let's say Alpiline, you'll find there are a lot of articles there about this particular product promising something. Now, this might seem like a threat, but I promise you it's not, because you can use this information to reverse it and work it in your favor. Because if you are equipped with knowledge that someone doesn't like a particular product you're thinking about promoting for a reason, you might choose to avoid this reason, right? Another piece of copy that would be relevant for this product, but would not really be using this angle to get promoted. Or let's say if the rumor hasn't been successfully dismantled or just fact checked, you can use it to get inspired. You can mention it in your copy. So it's a very helpful website. I'm not saying it features every single offer, but even if you type weight loss or good skin or anything, you can find so much inspiration. It will be extremely helpful. I can promise you that. And finally, this is my favorite. I used to work for a traffic source myself. We always really encouraged proactive clients. It's a part of a job of every traffic source representative to be proactive themselves. But if you're coming with ideas yourself, or at least you're coming with an open mind and you're asking the right questions, account managers are your best friends. Ask them the right questions. Come with your own research and say, hey, I've researched this. I've tried this before. Do you think it should work on MGID? Yes or no? I promise you, you'll be one of the most favorite clients if you follow this pattern versus just coming and ignoring the collaboration opportunity. Now that we've touched base on this, on the research aspect, I want to briefly discuss the ways how you can sell to all the different people that you can find and target on native. I already mentioned the traditional funnel for native. Typically, it's a 3-step selling process. Sometimes it's a 4-step selling process if you really want to have like an additional pre-sale page before the VSL, or if there's no VSL, you would have in a straight sell funnel, you would have an image, a banner, then you would have an advertorial, and then you have an offer page. And in some rare cases, if you're dealing with COD offers, so cash on delivery, typically the offer page is merged with an advertorial. Now, the most important here, as Anna mentioned here, is your advertorial. And advertorials typically represent the part of the problem agitate solution framework where you are expanding on the problem first introduced in your ad. Because native is cold traffic, typically. Now, with social, you are dealing with, with a traffic source that knows you really well. With search, there is clear intent. With native, there is no intent. So you're doing some broad targeting, and then you're encouraging and intriguing the audience with your banner. And if the banner is successful, they go to an advertorial where you actually expand the problem and you say, we've mentioned the problem. Here's more information about it. There we go. Here's your solution. Whether it's a VSL or a text form, it doesn't matter. It's always about a problem, an expansion of the problem, and a solution. Just a bit of information. I don't want to spend too much time on this one because I feel like most of the points have already been mentioned, but screenshot this or just revisit this presentation. These are some key elements you may want to incorporate in your pre-landing page or maybe a landing page advertorial to ensure that it's most engaging, because engaging landing page is key to your success. And this is one of the tricks that we've been using in Xevio is it's not enough just to split test relying on the traffic source information. It's quite important to be able to get some insight into how your pre-landing page is performing. Because if, let's say, you're tracking, obviously, the cost of the click on your tracking, the cost of the lead or some other action, CPA, somewhere down the funnel, you're leaving a huge gap in between. So you don't really know how your landing page is performing. So you're naturally assuming if the sales come in after the first iteration of your landing page, that means it's the best one. No, that's not true. So if you really want to succeed, make sure that you're split testing constantly and you're optimizing for engagement. So LPCTR is the first metric that you should keep in mind. Forget about the CPM for a second. Forget about the CPA for a second. Even the cost of click is arbitrary because what you're trying to do at the very first stages is to pay for as much data as possible to be able to make data-driven decisions. So we're using Microsoft Clarity to measure, using heat maps to measure the engagement on the advertorial to see what the audience is doing, how much time they're spending there. You can use Google Analytics for this, for instance, or you can use Microsoft Clarity to see what they're looking on, what are they clicking on, what are they doing. And if you see that your LP CTR is above 15-20%, only then this is where you proceed to optimizing, by publisher and optimizing towards your CPA and CPL goal. Now, just going to spend a bit more time on the actual subject of the presentation, which is the persuasion psychology, because we talked about the research, we talked about the funnel. Now it's time to talk about the frameworks. We mentioned the PAS framework, which is the one that basically explains the whole native funnel. But Nirvana approach is the one that's commonly used typically by policymakers, but it can be actually adopted by marketers, because when you're looking at health and supplements and trying to sell it to the audiences are a lot more educated than they used to be 5 and 10 years ago. So you cannot really come up with generic approaches like you used to, because now your customer is much smarter than they used to be. So you cannot just, create unrealistic expectations with your copy. They come with suspicion, right, towards your advertised perfection. So in order to, to deal with it successfully, you can adopt 2 different frameworks. One is dropping claims to foster conclusions, and the other one is striking a balance between a promise and reality. Now, with Drop the Claims and Foster Conclusions, you can explore further in the Catalyst book by Joe Berger. But in short, it's about gradually diminishing people's fears, right? So I'll give you an example. So if I was to start this presentation and say Native Hub, which is our education platform, is the best education platform in the world, you, as listeners, would naturally come with suspicion, because it would be like, Andrey, everybody says that they're the best. I mean, that's the part of the selling process, right? And you're a seller, so, tough luck, we're not going to buy it. Now, if I say that Native Hub is a platform built by marketers, for marketers, and by someone who spent more than 100 million on native, let's say Taboola, Outbrain, and MGID combined, that creates, that encourages a thinking process, right? You'll be thinking, okay, if they spend so much money, maybe they know a thing or two about native. Now, the other one is also related to perfection. So there's this perfect world trap, that a lot of people are caught in because of the nirvana fallacy. And in order to get them out of there, to remove the suspicion, you need to strike a balance between a promise and reality. Show what's possible when hard work meets a well-needed boost. So if you say they're losing 30 kilograms in a week without any exercise, sure, you will convert fast, but you would not be able to work with traffic sources with the largest publishers, because largest publishers really care about their reputation. So they would never allow the traffic source in general, as a network, to push through these ads. So you'll miss out on the scale. Sure, you'll make some great promises, which are a bit unrealistic. We have to agree on that, but you would miss out on the scale. So strike a good balance between what's true and not true. And this way, you'd be able to reach as much traffic as possible in your chosen traffic source like MGID. And most importantly, the audience will think that you're being at least more or less realistic with the expectations that you're setting. Very briefly, on the picture before that, I showed you 3 different persuasion techniques. One of them is called logos, so basically using strong arguments, numbers, and data in your advertorials. Unique selling points, like here, for example, VSLs do a fantastic job explaining this. Ethos, so credibility of the narrator. The best example is testimonials, a couple of people sharing their personal experience. Here is an example. And finally, there is pathos, which tends to relate to emotion, another Greek word, very fancy. So it's about, trying the same story, but, focusing on a different angle. So if you're saying that, if I'm suffering from a problem, from the first person perspective, I'm talking about I used to have a problem, but now I found this an amazing solution. I'm going to tell you more about it. And here comes the VSL. And finally, Kairos is about timing. It's not about just showing your ad at the right time and in the right place, but it's also about the span that this particular product has been on the market. So you don't want to be promoting the same product that's been on the market for 10 years. Find a new product, constantly be testing new products in order to succeed, constantly test new angles, find the right time and the right moment to show it. Native is perfect for it because it's typically below the funnel. At least this is where it's traditionally is. And finally, you can play around with the sense of urgency, also known as fear of missing out. Now, I'm almost done. Quick summary: research, get inspired, don't steal, rely on the frameworks. Keep in mind that native is about building up a problem, then agitating your audience, and then providing a solution. And finally, play a longer game by being diligent and even studious in your marketing approach. Become a psychology scholar, if you wish, if you really want to effectively scale your selling process. Because if you just mindlessly copying everyone, you might be able to find your own niche and even reach, modicum of success. But if you really want to scale to some significant numbers, do your own research. Be unique with what you're trying to do. And if you ever get interested, we've bundled a lot of information we've done over the years in our education platform called Native Hub. We've done multiple trainings. We've recorded literally hours, more than 20 or even 22 hours now of different trainings, which are created by media buyers for media buyers. We've recently published a training for MGID, which focuses on media buying and different aspects, and specifically the new dashboard published by MGID. And we're great partners with Anna, Gita, and MaxWeb. So you can also find us on the MaxWeb Academy. Strongly recommend subscribing to it as well. Finally, one last slide, I promise. Specifically for you, specifically today, I'm following my own advice. I'm adding as much information as possible here, being very tricky, and also offering you a discount. So if you scan this QR code and enroll today, you'd be able to claim a 10% discount using this promo code. And plus, you'd be able to get a very cool PDF that we've created specifically for those of you who are getting started on native. So you'd be able to learn more about different verticals. I appreciate your patience. I feel like I've gone quite a bit over time. I got carried away, but thank you.
I would say, as always, but Andrey, first of all, thank you so much for a brilliant presentation. There is no conclusion in the webinar, but I want to say in the end that for the people who joined and who gonna watch it in recorded, you got everything. We hope that you got everything right now. You have Anna and MaxWeb to find pretty much any niche of the products that you need. You have us, MGID, to be your best partner as a traffic source and creative guide to make your things work. And you have the brilliant education from the Native Hub, how to make it work, the whole funnel. So, guys, I'm really glad having you here. The only thought that was appearing in my mind during all of your presentation was, one day we will be able to do a roundtable. That would be great to have it in person, to have 100 to 150 people there, and to have this conversation in a greater, in a more person manner, and have a decent time to spend. There should be a Q&A session. We still have a couple of minutes. There was some questions. There were some questions in the chat. All of them were responded immediately, which is great. So if anyone has any questions, please, you still have an opportunity to put it into the question section or in the chat. Doesn't matter right now. Yeah, there is something. No, nothing. So it was a great. It was a great. Oh,
I added my email. Well, no, you're good, Alex. So I added my email. I know with the time zones, I know a lot of, we have over 40,000 affiliates. A lot of them are in the US. I know they're just getting up. So they asked us for the link. So you guys, if you have questions for Andrey or Alex, we'll make sure to give you their contact. Same, if you guys have questions for me and my team, I added the email also. You might be watching this, not live, but in a few days. I just really want to make a parenthesis and say, you can talk to any of our many thousands of affiliates. We never promote another company or another business. We take no sponsorships. We always want to make sure that if we partner with someone or if we mention a name, it's because it's going to be beneficial to you guys. So I just want to emphasize how highly we think of MGID and Native Hub. We've been looking for not a course, but like a platform to help affiliates that are trying to transition from social to native for a long time. And I feel like Andrey and his team can do that. And with MGID, you've like, even before I met Alex or had this webinar, if you've heard any of my speeches, you probably heard many, many times how I mentioned how much we love it. And I promised the offers that you saw in both of the presentation. I had no idea the guys are going to add, but any good VSL, if you're on a spy tool and you see a good VSL, it's probably ours. There are companies in our space, they do payment processing. We use them to do our payment processing. So any good VSL you need, just let us know. We will make it happen, or mention Alex or Andrey, kind of like a special referral, and we will make it happen.
Anna, there is actually a question, and I would address it to you. Are VSLs working only in USA?
Wonderful question. And no, we have even the offers that are written in English, which are most of the offers that do well for us. We target first tier one. That's beautiful. So when I say tier one, I'm saying US, Canada, New Zealand, the UK, right? English speaking countries. But the last year, a lot of the offers, even if you'll have Cortexi or Silensil or any of the good offers, the sales page is in English, but we target globally because it's so much more profitable to target globally. And many countries in Europe purchase the product. So no, it's absolutely okay. Obviously, ask your account manager. She is your best friend, so she will know. But ideally, I would encourage you to target globally because cost is better, and we work with the best fulfillment houses in the world, so we can ship almost everywhere.
Great, great. So there is no more questions. We are just in time. One more time, I want to make a great thanks to you, Anna, and to you, Andrey, to be with me here today and having this great time together.
I'm gonna mute myself and
Thank you. I'm so honored. Please